Lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work, triple play, yeah.
This is Triple Play Fantasy Basketball, Week 9, folks. I'm your host, Coach James Lewis. On the other end, Doc Mendelson. We're in the thick of things with fantasy basketball season. I like the lineup that we got here this week. Last week, I don't think the names were noteworthy. They were more streamable guys. I think that within this pod, you might find somebody that might land a roster spot for the rest of the year. It's not just a stream show that's there are new opportunities opening up, whether it's injury, whether it's young players getting more minutes. But you see that within the fantasy basketball season or the NBA basketball season. And I'm excited to talk. First things up is games watch. The Suns have 2. A lot of teams have 4 games this week. Nobody plays on Sunday, of course. But the Suns, who were a benefit of the schedule recently in the past couple weeks, are not. And maybe they can get Brad Beal rested. Maybe KD get a little rest himself. And the Suns can hopefully get their season rolling as they've been banged up pretty much all season.
James, before we talk about players for this week, can I pull up a clip from last week, please?
Sure. I do want to mention before Doc does some antics. He's got that face. He's got that look in his eye. Tuesday and Friday are your stream days, where there's 4 games on Tuesday and there's 6 on Friday. The Warriors play both Tuesday and Friday, and we do have a couple Warriors players featured here. So, all right, Doc, go ahead. Whatever you got, I'm ready for it. Smoke and mirrors, and I'm staying away from a game where he benefited against Boston.
I mean, but Mitchell Robinson's about to get hurt. Do you think Mitchell Robinson will make it through the rest of the season healthy?
Ideally, because I own him in one of my.
We're talking about ideally, but I'm talking about realistically. Do you think Mitchell Robinson is going to play the rest of the season and not get hurt?
No. Also,
his ankles are literally strung together by rubber bands.
Yeah, I mean, he's bound to get hurt or at least dinged up a little bit. And the Knicks are not the same without him. I don't like that they took Julius Randle's power forward center eligibility away. He's just a power forward in Yahoo. But if, like said, an injury like that happens, I think that you see Tibbs going with him and maybe Hart at the 4 with those minutes. And then I think that Hart will really benefit from a Mitchell Robinson injury rather as opposed to Isaiah. You done? That's just my thought.
Okay. I guess we'll see because it's going to happen.
We will. And on a future pod, we will talk about.
A future pod, we will talk about it. That was 1 week ago, James. And for the crowd that is saying, Eric, are you victory lapping a Mitchell Robinson injury? No, I am not. I would never wish for a player to get hurt. But Mitchell Robinson getting hurt is like clockwork, and it's with his left ankle sprain surgery out at least 6 to 8 weeks.
You want an attaboy for putting an injury on a player?
No, right? I hope people that watched that video last week picked up Hartenstein because he got a double-double last game and seems to have a better role than Josh Hart moving forward.
Well, there you go. But I will say that I did kind of agree with you along the way. But that is cool. That is interesting how that happened. And I can't even tell you I was thinking about that this week. But clearly you had that on your brain.
Oh, man, let me tell you. I was sleeping. I was like, I just can't wait till Sunday morning to bring that to James's attention. Woo, baby.
All right. So, yeah, Hartenstein is there. Give him a look. Caris LeVert is back off of an injury, and he's playing as he was kind of towards the beginning of the season. He's shooting guard, small forward eligible, 51% roster. That's been an uptick in last week when he had 26 points, 3 threes, 3 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals. That's a fantastic category fantasy line. And he right now probably should be owned in 10, 12 team leagues. He's benefiting in playing time with 2 major injuries that Doc can speak of and tell me whether you would pick him up or not?
I mean, first of all, you're picking him up. So Evan Mobley out 6 to 8 weeks with left arthroscopic knee surgery. Darius Garland out multiple weeks with a fractured jaw. Man, that seems like that hurts. So that frees up 36 points per game. Now, does that mean that's all going to Caris LeVert? No, but I think he's going to have a solid piece in the rotation, not just for this week, for multiple weeks moving forward. I know there's been rumors that the Cavs may shop Donovan Mitchell, that it's no surprise that he doesn't want to stay there long term. But I don't think they punt this season yet. So Caris LeVert, double-digit points in 3 out of the last 3 games that he started. He's hitting threes. He's giving you a little bit of everything. 51% rostered, so he's available in less leagues than not. But somebody that should be 90% plus, barring injury.
All right, so that's some people to watch. James Wiseman right now, he's benefited off of Jalen Duren being out, but to me, this is a short-term stream. But he might have some monster games within maybe this next week. He's 15% rostered, and we saw him have a 20-point, 13-board game, followed by 17-6, 5 assists, shot 76%. James Wiseman, when he does get minutes, he's fantasy good. I wouldn't say he's a good basketball player by any means, but for fantasy wise, if Duren's out, look to him to kind of steal some of those minutes and those stats.
And Duren is out at least the next 2 weeks. They said he'll be reevaluated with an ankle sprain. Man, those are just killing everybody with those ankle sprains. But played a season high 28 minutes, and that's when he had the 20 points, 13 rebounds, shooting 76% over the last week. So he can give you those 2 categories. I would like to see a little bit more blocks out of him, 0.6 on the season. I know it's 1.3 over the last week. But for somebody that's 6'11", we'll say 7 foot rounded up, 6'11", 7 foot rounded up, he should be blocking more shots than that.
Oh, he's a for sure 7-footer. He might be 7'1", but
I mean, Wikipedia is lying then.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Regardless, Tari Eason, 52% rostered. He's getting a little uptick in minutes. Emi Udoka is calling his number a little bit more. And anybody that's a heavy fantasy head, if you're watching this show, we all have had Tari Eason, start as if he gets an opportunity, we got to grab him because of his defensive production, his ability to get boards and hit some threes. We saw in the last week 18 points, 12 boards, 2 threes, nearly 2 steals and a block. That's fantasy superb. I picked him up today. I know that they have a back-to-back. They play Sunday and Monday, and so I'll give him a look on Monday and I'll see what happens. But he's kind of like that, a boom bust of potential. And if he gets the minutes that we're looking for, around 25 or more, he's right now a must roster.
Remember we called him last year, Tari preseason Eason. Back-to-back games with 14 boards. James, he's a hustle guy. I like that.
I like him too.
He gambles for steals.
Mm-hmm.
He has at least 1 steal over the last 3 games, playing 23, 27 minutes. I like that he's getting more spots in the rotation. He's 22 years old, so hopefully his game is still growing, but I like him as a real-life basketball player. I was surprised to see he's rostered in this many leagues at 52, but, I mean, we see that double-double upside.
And, I mean, he's had 8 rebounds in the last 5 games, so that's consistency. And so it's been up 32 this last week. So people are getting hip to the Tari Eason wagon.
Even just from 3, he's shooting 44% this year. He shot 34% last year. That's a big jump.
Yeah, and that was a question mark coming into the league. So we like hard work paying off on the court. Brandin Podziemski, shooting guard eligible for the Warriors in the last week. He's starting right now. They put Andrew Wiggins to the bench. They're shaking things up. Draymond Green is out for the foreseeable future, I think in 25. We don't know how many games, but it's going to be a long time. 14 points. His rebound numbers are striking. Almost 8, 4 dimes, 2 threes, 2.3 steals, 0.7 blocks. Like that categories league, that's just crazy. I know they only play 3 games next week, but I mentioned that they play Tuesday and Friday, so he's a really good stream. Try it out. If you can pick him up today, if you have extra pickups, it'd be worth the gamble. I went with Tari, but I was splitting hairs with Pods.
I like Pods, and I mean, we're going to talk about another Warrior player next, so we might talk about which one that you want to add over those two.
Yeah, I'll take Pods. The safe pick is Kevon Looney on the season, 9 boards. He doesn't score points, so he's killing you in that category, which, a lot of times, points can go back and forth. I give me Pods over the more reliable safety, Kevon Looney.
Oh, man, so we have to agree on this. And you're the one that wanted to talk about Kevon Looney, by the way.
I mean,
Kevon
he should be mentioned because of the Draymond thing. I mean, I don't want to leave him out.
I mean,
especially we were talking about Pods anyways.
I mean, that's fair, but James, the double-digit rebounding upside he had last season. So he averaged 9.3 rebounds. When I was making this graphic, he had a 20-rebound game. He hasn't had double-digit rebounds in 11 games. That is a little bit alarming to me. And he's been playing 20 minutes over the last couple games. They've definitely been fluctuating his minutes. He played as low as 13 November 30th against the Clippers. Obviously, he's going to get more run. But, James, we talked about Pods 3 weeks ago when he was 3% rostered. Look at this from a categories perspective. The 19 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 threes, 4 stocks, back-to-back games with 4 stocks. He's 6'4", plays unselfish, fits in the Warriors system.
Yeah. Perfect.
Like, James, I know this is going to be crazy to say. Does he benefit the Warriors more at this point than Klay Thompson?
I mean, based on how Klay has played this season?
Yeah.
Yes. I still can't bury Klay. And he did average 20 last year. I don't know quite what is up there. But it's worth the look because right now they're sinking and they're sinking fast. So giving him bump, giving Moody bump, especially the two of those, because they're outplaying Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson. So I mean, it's worth to see because as we know, Steph Curry is still in his prime, and you cannot just kill another season. Try to move Chris Paul, maybe get an opportunity for these younger players to play a little bit more.
So Klay Thompson is shooting the worst field goal percentage from his career, 40.5%. Worst from three, 36.8%. Decreased in rebounds from last season. Decreased in assists. Decreased in steals. He's another year old, 33, coming off. And keep in mind, he's had 2 torn Achilles or 2 serious leg injuries. Like, they've played a lot of games, too. Think about how many postseason runs they've had. You can't just say that he has played 12 regular seasons and not include all the postseason. Brandon Pod's 20 years old, I believe. Fresh legs. That's what I'm saying. Like, just from the name brand, Klay is going to carry it further. But Brandon Pods, you could make an argument, might be the second most relevant player on Warriors right now, with Draymond out, with Klay suffering, with Looney being a little bit sporadic, Wiggins to the bench, dealing CP3.
I think it's evident they need to shake it up a little bit. And I know that the Warriors have been reluctant to make in-season moves in this whole dynasty era, but they've held on to the young guys, and whether there were good trades or not, they have been reluctant. They have stuck tight, but like with this Draymond nonstop and shenanigans, you really got to think about it.
Trade for Pascal Siakam.
I mean, he a great move, but Toronto likes to hold as much as they can in the bank. So meaning it's going to take so much to pry him loose. Kevin Love, power forward, center eligible. He's been chills the last 2 weeks. 14 points, 7 boards, giving you a couple assists, hitting 3 threes. Categories leagues. That's what you want. He's playing around that 20 to 25 minute role. So that's like max you're gonna get. But it's decent. It's safe. Like obviously, I would go with some of these younger players that maybe have a more of a potential to really go for. But he's a safe pick right now.
Yeah, he played like an 8-man rotation. We talk about it every week. I mean, I will say it is capped. He hasn't played more than 25 minutes in 4 years. I mean, we wrote him off 4 years ago. We thought his playing days were done. The Cavs weren't playing him much last season. The Heat got him. Looks like it revived his career. Always good for points and rebounds. And, I mean, he had 6 threes last game. Not going to give you much on the defensive side. Maybe somebody that plays limited minutes and back-to-back. Side note, do you know my favorite Bryce Vine song?
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Bryce Vine is?
Nah,
Rapper?
no. That doesn't ring a bell. Nah.
Well, you're not going to get this reference then.
Nah, but I am in the 0.1% of people that listen to Nas based on my Spotify Wrapped. So shout
You're
out
in the
my birthday brother, Nas, 914.
How do people
all
not
day.
listen to Nas?
I don't know.
But the joke was factory love.
Goat.
You know who the Green Bay Packers starting quarterback is?
Yes. Bryce Love.
No, it's Jordan Love. Gosh.
It's a
Stick to
basketball pod.
basketball, James.
Yeah, I
Stick to
know. I
basketball.
had the love part right. We're looking
of
at
course you did.
power forward center eligible guys. Give me Kelly though. Give me Kelly Olynyk, averaging 8 assists, 8 dimes, and so I guess he's benefited of maybe the playmaking role. He's not going to stay at 33% from the field. He's been a high field goal percentage shooter in his career. In they're talking about shipping John Collins. There's opportunities right now. If Kelly Olynyk plays minutes like he is right now, I like him. I've always been a pick him up, but not feel too bad about dropping him. He's just a good categories fantasy basketball player. You get to pick up
13 dimes.
13. I mean,
13.
8 the game before that.
Well, so James, Keontae George is out. I don't know if you were watching the other day. Non-contact injury. They said fortunately he had avoided something significant, but out at least for the foreseeable future. They didn't put a timeline on. So is Kelly Olynyk going to get some point guard eligibility dropping 13 dimes?
We'd hope so. 13 dimes, 7 the game before, 8 the game before that. Yeah.
And here's the thing too. Like Utah with Will Hardy is still like mixing lineups. Like they have Walker Kessler coming off the bench. They've been starting Yurtseven some games. John Collins has been out 4 games. Markkanen was out for an extended period. Like they've kind of just been mixing and matching.
To go along with that, Talen Horton-Tucker in the last 2 weeks, 14 points, 2 boards, 3 assists, a 3, filling up the stat lines with some high steal games. 23 against Portland. He's that point guard, shooting guard, small forward eligible. We got 2 of those guys. One for San Antonio. Might as well do a pick 'em here. Malaki Branham for the Spurs is benefiting with some extra playing time here. 14 points, 5 boards, 5 assists. They're playing him heavy at point. I've been begging for them to play Vassell a little bit in that playmaking role, but Malaki Branham, let's not forget he's a second-year player as well, and that we need, like, he has potential. So like if you had the choice, similar-esque numbers and roles for their team, who do you take and why?
All right, so I'm going to make a couple notes. James, I'm going to give you some redemption. You know that song by AC/DC? TNT.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, that's what I think of with Talen Horton-Tucker. THT. In a vacuum, I'm going to take Talen Horton-Tucker because we've seen this from a larger sample size, and I think he gives you more on the defensive stats. 7 steals over the last 2 games, and I think he has a more secure role with Utah. Malaki Branham has been on a good stretch. He's had at least 20 minutes over the last 4 games, playing 33 and 34 in 2 of them. He's been giving you solid points. I just think with the Spurs, they finally broke the 19-game losing streak, but they're just kind of a mess right now. I mean, I would ride Malaki Branham if you have room, but I think Talen Horton-Tucker is going to be the better longer-term ad, just because we've talked about him on shows before, and I know Malaki Branham is younger.
Thank you, because I like your take here, because I disagree.
Ooh.
Give me Branham all day. Last 3 games, 33 minutes, 28 minutes, and 34. Like he had 1 game, he had 8 assists. The other game, he had 7. He had 0 in between that. But I've been disappointed the times that I've picked up Talen Horton-Tucker. He'll just drop off big time. I can't trust him. This may fit a role for San Antonio. So give me Branham over THT.
But okay, the thing with THT, Keontae George is out. Once again, that opens up minutes, 30 and 26, the 2 minutes he's gone out. Coach, side note, Malaki Branham is 20. Jeremy Sohan is 20. Victor Wembanyama is 19. That team ain't going to the club, by the way.
They're still getting in the clubs. Come on. You pull up with Victor. They are the club.
Man, they're going to the H2O parties, the 18 and up, where you got to get the X on your hands to show that you can't drink.
Another reason why do you know where Malaki Branham went to high school?
I don't, but I know he went to Ohio State. Did you go to St. Vincent, St. Mary's?
Yes, he did. Baby Braun right here. Of
Oh
course
my
I gotta
gosh,
take him.
this guy always got to bring LeBron into a reference. Jeez, James, rent free in your
The
head.
second best player from St. Vincent, St. Mary's.
Gosh, get a grip on yourself, brother.
All right, so you threw Aaron Nesmith in here. Although I like him as a real life basketball player, I think he's got some defensive qualities and abilities. Fantasy wise, I'm not a fan. Tell me why you are.
So Aaron Nesmith, double-digit points, 7 out of the last 8 games. I like him from a points league. Categories league, you can see 0.8 assists over the last week. He is averaging 1 on the season. I think they're just going to continue to play the hot hand. He's been averaging about 25 minutes for the season, in that sweet spot between 23 and 29 most games. I mean, he's a solid scorer. He's shooting 53.1% from the field for the season. So
if you're like an R8 player, role player, you can't be wearing 23. I'm sorry.
Why? Is it because LeBron wore it?
I mean, he's the only one that's credible that should be able to wear it. Like, I think that 23 should be outlawed and banned because of Jordan. But, you know, this is where we are. I mean, if we can outlaw 6 for Bill, let's get rid of 23. I mean, even my team that I coach, like, I'm very careful on the 23. Like,
you give out the numbers as coach.
I let them choose, but like the 23 doesn't go to like the last guy on the bench. Like that, we don't do that. It's got to be my guy.
What's an ugly number that you're okay giving those reserve last bench guys?
Yeah, 55.
Oh, they give out 55. That's ugly.
50.
Man,
it's you get 50. Yeah, I mean, I got to choose a number, so they're pretty sexy. I'm not gonna lie, they're all.
Yeah, Did you give your point guard 3? 3 is a tough number.
3 is so tough. I like 2, 1. I like those short
0,
numbers. 10,
4 is a little bit of an ugly single-digit one.
Yeah, I've had some good players with the 4 though, so
give them 11.
It's grown on me a little bit.
Give the clumsy guy 11. Todd McCullough.
Yeah, no, I did not choose an 11, but I got the 32, 33. Yeah. Oh, we're rolling, by the way. We're undefeated. We're cooking. We beat a team that has a nationally ranked 7th grader in the country. So we pulled out a big upset.
Talking about beating up 7th graders, James. Get a grip on yourself, man.
Gave him the grip, man. I gave him the full court deny, trap on the on-ball screen. Oof.
If only he could manage his teams like this.
I don't box. Oh, yeah. Speaking of managing, you're speaking with a guy that's in first place in both leagues. So I feel like I've done a decent job here.
James doesn't have a life is what he's saying.
Hey, way to keep the receipts, though, man. I'm going to need you to pull up some videos for me, too. And we can start the show. When I said, hey, LeBron James is coming for that, in-season tournament. Like, come on. The first one ever. Of course he's going to go and grab it.
No, Anthony Davis went and got it.
Oh, my God. We know what happened there.
Honestly, like James said at the beginning of the show, all of these guys, I think, you got to play the waiver wire each week, but I think this week there's more substance. There's more viable long-term guys. So, make sure you're on it.
Safe guys too. Yeah. Like between Eason and Pods, you got some real, even Branham to an extent, you got some real potential there. And yeah, you think about LeVert and Olynyk, you got some safe guys to think about. So, yeah, I think this is a good show. We wish you luck. Stay active, folks. Use those pickups. Again, no games on Sunday. Those stream days. Really look for the Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. The Wizards play Thursday, Friday. So that's a good way to get some extra games. Yeah. If your guy plays 2 games, Corey Kispert even, give him.
And if you like the banter between James and I, make sure you subscribe, you tell your friends, your brothers, your grandmas, your neighbor, you show it to the squirrels to show them to get into fantasy basketball. You show this video and you spread it like a communicable disease.
And make sure you comment on me about saying Bryce Love, Buddy Love, whatever his name is.
There's a
Caleb
reason
Love.
why James is only on the basketball.
I know Caleb
shows,
Love.
by the way.
Anyways, for Doc, I'm Coach Lewis. Season's greetings. We'll see you next week. Peace.